feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, you know I'm gon' feed them. Coming for me, you ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me for granted and you know I'm leaving. I'ma take what's mine with the webs I'm weaving. I could take this crap from seeing to believing. Got a taste for blood and my tongue keeps bleeding. From the words I spit, so sharp, so freezing. So cold, behold, frostbite they feeling. I could tear you apart or I could go heal them. Don't believe in fate, don't believe in feelings. I just need it, taste in my mind starts feeling. I don't pace myself, I grind on kneeling. Got nothing for change, I just love the feeling. No, I ain't gonna give up. Got too little time, I'ma live up. Head down, push forward through the tough times. Cause anything worth doing is a tough climb. I ain't gonna give up. Got too little time, I'ma live up. Head down, push forward through the tough times. Cause anything worth doing is a tough climb. Cause I'ma live life for the fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I don't lie at night, I be in my feelings. I'ma be fine, need time, and I'll soon be winning. I live life for the fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I don't lie at night, I be in my feelings. I'ma be fine, need time, and I'll soon be winning. I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon.
Right on beat.
Woo!
We are here. This is not Deep Takes from 3. This is Cap Space Jam, damn it. And we are here, man. I'm excited. So first of all, if I was a person and I was going on YouTube and I saw Cap Space Jam, I'm like, what the hell is that? So I'm going to start with telling you what the hell this is. Okay, this is a fantasy basketball league. Yes, we got 19 people who wish they could own an NBA team, and now their wishes have come true. We're going to have 16 teams, 17-man rosters, a strict NBA salary cap. We're at 140 million, so that's where like the cap and the jam comes in. Like we're running off a cap and it's a jam as far as it's
a pun.
basketball.
We like puns.
It's
over
a pun.
here.
It's a double entendre. And another light, I'm a rapper. Not in this one. But yeah, man, Gary, of course, my man from D Takes from 3, the athletes said, we're probably gonna do like 100 more shows before this life is over, man. Thank you for coming in and going with my crazy idea. So
of course, man. No, absolutely. I've always been wanting to do fantasy basketball. I did it a couple of years ago. No, just like went on one of those websites and joined my own thing. Never really like had friends to do it with. And so when you proposed the idea to me, I got a buddy of mine. A lot of the people here in our chats and in our league here, we have some co-owners. So we'll be talking about that a little bit. I am co-owning it with one of my best friends, Nick. I've grown up with him, used to live with him, and now we connect basically through sports and fantasy basketball. Now we text each other all the time about our team. During the draft, I was, getting his opinions. He's at work in the middle of the forest, and I'm over here asking him if I should draft Bull. We're out here really doing some digs, I would say some deep takes, but that's our other podcast.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks, Isaiah. Appreciate you for inviting me. And when we got a couple of people, some videos that we're gonna watch here, some people gonna join the stream. We got some people waiting in the wings.
Yeah.
Excited about this, man.
Yes, and then to the members that are watching, because I'll be honest, I don't know how many people are gonna watch this show. I don't care if it's 5, I don't care if it's 15, I don't care if it's 1,000. We're gonna do this the right way. And I do gotta thank everybody that's in the league that is participating with the videos. I know this isn't everybody's thing, so stepping out the comfort zone to like support this idea, I really appreciate it. We're gonna.
Not all of us are as narcissistic as the two of us just want to be on camera all the
time. But I do appreciate everybody that's participating and everybody that's made suggestions to make the league better. But yeah, what we're gonna do is now we're gonna roast all 15 teams aside from mine, and we're gonna find out just what we think about every team. I'm gonna pull up the sheet and I'm going to show each roster, and we'll go ahead and do this from top to bottom. Now, for an example, we could use my team as the dummy here, right? And I don't want to say that I drafted like a dummy because I feel like my team's pretty good. I will say I have like 5 pending injuries already. It's not looking good. CJ McCollum is down. Hang on, let me share this screen right here. 1 second. Where is this at? Okay, here we go. Okay.
Oh, dope. I didn't know we were doing all this. That's awesome.
Yeah, me neither. I didn't know if it was going to work, but here we are. We're winging this. So,
okay, well, we got it. That's awesome.
Yeah, so this could give you a brief explanation, like a idea of what we're going for here. So we have 17 roster spots. Like I said, $140 million salary cap. And then we have the option for wild cards. So we have up to 5 wild card spots that can be used at any time, either in the draft or midseason. Now, the key is, though, these wild cards not only lock for the rest of the season, but they reset at the end of the season. So it's going to keep things fresh, because if you're having a bad season, there's a very good possibility you can find yourself competing the next season, depending who you draft with that wild card pick. So we'll see how this goes. As you can see, my team right here, I got Devin Booker. That's going to be him and Kyrie going to be my 2 highest paid guys. And I really tried to go with a team that had a nice mix of proven talent and some talent with really high upside. Like, I think like a pick like Jaden Hardy, I'm excited to see, like, because he was once upon a time like a projected top 10 pick in the NBA draft. So for $1 million, I really wanted to take that chance. And then you got Mr. Jake LaRavia, or whatever the heck his name is. Man, he scored 15 points the other day in preseason. Anytime I see a player that has like natural instincts, like you see that next to their name, I like to see it. Is he going to go ahead and be LeBron or Victor Wembanyama? No. But I think he's going to be a pretty good player.
Speaking of Victor Wembanyama, I'm going to be honest, that might be the number 1 pick, in anything next year.
Regardless,
wild card or not, like, honestly, like we'll move on from that really quickly, but I'll be honest, Isaiah, looking at your team here, it is very obvious to me that you know how to play fantasy basketball, because that starting backcourt of yours, Devin Booker, Isaiah, not playing that much. I mean, he's a good defender, but let's be quite honest with ourselves. And then you got, I'm wondering if you're planning on starting Kyrie Irving immediately, considering, yeah, I would assume so. That the at least the top 4 guys that you got there in, I don't know, I'm blanking right now. Kyrie Irving, Devin Booker, RJ Barrett, Jabari Smith Jr. You are primed for some offensive explosion, my man.
I'm hoping so. I will say, if I had to pick a weakness from my team, though, my depth is not looking that great. I feel like I started getting too caught up with the salary, and I was trying to like crunch it a little bit towards the end. And then like Mark Williams was somebody I was kind of high on. I was hoping he would be able to steal like some starting minutes, but I see that he's now like a 3rd option in his center, like with the Hornets. Like, what are you doing? This is why the Hornets have not won a championship since like 1865, before the league even started.
They would rather start Mason Plumlee over
Mason Plumlee and Nick Richards, like, dude. So now, and I did ask quite a bit of people the people that participated, what was a team that they fear aside from themselves? Like, what's a team that concerns them? I'll get into why later, but my pick is Ronnie. Ronnie has really like scary. Like, I was starting to feel that way 10 picks in, and we're going to hear from him later on. But before we do that, okay, I think my team I'm sorry, Ronnie, I got to give you props. I'm looking at this team now. Jesus. Yeah, he made some questions. I'm scared. At first, like, he made 2 picks, and we'll get into it later, but I was like, oh God, like this is not going to go well for him. And it really did. So, but look, now that my team is settled, the verdict is there. I got RJ Barrett. I'm going to win a championship. We know this, right? Because I got RJ Barrett. But we have a guy in the wings waiting to jump in. We got David. He's Mitchell, the Martian. I'm about to introduce him right now because his team is right below me. And this is, by the way, we got to give this guy credit. He helped me keep up with the doc, and he's the one, like, when it comes to fantasy sports, he's given me so much advice as it pertains to like football, baseball, because it's like fantasy sports is different from the actual sport.
Yeah, you could be. You'll notice some from my team later on. I have some questionable, like, these guys are going to be on losing basketball teams, but they're going to put up the stats.
Exactly.
I got Colin Sexton on my team. I don't expect the Jazz to make any noise anywhere other than the tanking race. But Colin Sexton, we'll get to my team later. Let's go to David over here.
There we go. David, welcome, my friend.
How's it going, man?
Hi, guys. How's it going?
It's crazy. I've known this man for 2 or 3 years, and this is the first time, number one, I've seen his face, and number two, we've like talked. This is quite the platform to do it. Hey, man, I appreciate you coming on.
Of course.
And Gary, of course, this is also the first time they've talked.
I will be honest with y'all. I have not met most of the people in this league other than you and Devin, Isaiah.
To be fair,
No, and I'm excited. These things bringing people together. If anything,
absolutely.
If you're watching this from a perspective of like trying to listen to basketball, watch basketball, it's fantastic. But if you're just trying to watch this from perspective of people getting together and figuring stuff out for the first time and meeting each other, I mean, this is it. It's exactly what we're doing.
This is the
nice to
beauty
meet you, David.
The beauty of
good to meet you guys. I've known Isaiah since that first fantasy league we joined 3 years ago.
Yeah.
It's and now I'm in 35 different ones.
He saw all the major mistakes I made. I spent like $300 bidding money on DJ LeMahieu once upon a time. Like, he's seen it all. He's seen it all.
Oh, yeah.
But David, man, so I'm going to ask you the same question I'm going to ask mostly everybody. What was your strategy with drafting this team? And I know you had some help. And there's nothing wrong with that. The good thing with this league, you could have as many co-GMs as you want. And I mean, what was your strategy with drafting your team?
Well, first thing was to try to trade to get Jokic, but no one wanted to trade with me. So I went with Job because he was cheaper than all the other superstars. So I could have a little bit more room in there. And then I don't remember his name, but he offered me a trade for one of the rookies I picked. So I was able to pick up Pascal Siakam for half price, which really helped put the team together, I think. And then it was just, hey, ask the Canadians in the league, and they helped me a bunch.
I think you did, really well there. You got some other key names there. You got like Terry Rozier. I think that was like a sneaky pick at $21 million. You got Wendell Carter Jr., by the way, who I think is another really key name. You got Donovan Mitchell. I mean, the names keep going. Rudy Gobert, Laurie Marketing. I mean, this is a deep team.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what you were aiming for? Were you aiming for depth or because?
100% depth. I don't know a ton about basketball or fantasy basketball, but it was mainly just go depth and make sure I try to have a starter out there for every game rather than just pile up on one team. And
it's got to be said, man. I think the one pick that we haven't mentioned here, that not only did you get him for an incredible $2.95 million this year, $4.5 million next year, Saddiq Bey at your 3. Not only is he just an absolute flamethrower when it comes to just nights on the court where you might look down and go, wow, he had 40 points. Didn't he put up a 50 bomb last season? This is a dude that can just absolutely light up. He might have a game where he has like 4 or 5 points, but then you look the next game and he's got 37. So, and especially coming from Cade Cunningham, getting passes on his end, and then whatever becomes of Jaden Ivey there in Detroit. That's a perfect wing spot that you filled for super cheap. I'm super jealous now looking at your team. You're over here with Saddiq Bey, Cam Johnson for only $5 million. Yes, he has a player option or a team option next year, but at the exact same time, that's somebody who is going to get that quality. He's going to get that option. He might be a little bit more expensive down the line, but for the next 2 years, you got not only a really good roster, but a cheap one as well.
Yes, thank you.
Of course, man.
I mean, if I had to give one critique, I'm going to try to give a critique for everybody's team.
You should. Go for it.
Yeah, the only thing I would say, I mean, it's hard to really find like one bad thing other than, the next year, negative $21 million. I mean, we do got a cap increase coming, and you don't really have any pending free agents anyway, so you look to be in good shape. But I would say just flexibility moving forward might be something we want to look for. But overall, yeah, top to bottom, there's a name there that really has potential. And I think Lauri Markkanen could really big, especially if he stays in Utah. I mean, if he's going to be one of the main options over there, especially if Jordan Clarkson gets traded. So he can put up some big numbers right there. I said that from the beginning. I'm like, damn, I think that was a good pick right there. So now, David, is there a team in the wings that you're fearful of besides your own? I mean, obviously you're going to win, right? You got to believe that. But who is second? Who are you facing in the finals?
What's got to be my my best friend, Josh, who stole Jokic right from me. He's got the best fantasy player in the league. I mean, when you can put up 10 more points a game than anybody else, that's a huge carry to the end. And he plays in like 80 of the 82 games a year. Yeah. So that guy puts up just crazy numbers. So
yeah,
that. I don't know about the rest of the team. I know his second pick was Harden, but still, Jokic can carry pretty much anything.
He's getting all the assists. Everybody on that team is just passing the ball. Jokic. I'm trying to find it right here on the docket here.
Yeah, let me go ahead. I got you. Let me pull that up right now. So we got Josh over here towards the bottom right, I believe. Yeah, there it goes. I know, like literally by direction.
You edited. I gotta give you props to both of you guys because you did a lot of work with this doc. I was looking down and I was basically relying on y'all because I was drafting guys looking down at the salary cap and going like, well, God, I hope that's right because by the end of the day, I mean, we'll get down to a lot of the people's, of course you see a lot of the folks here, their last picks were a couple of guys that they need, you spend a lot of good money in the first part of your draft. So for you to be able to have that money to get a guy like Terry Rozier closer towards at the end of your draft, David, you honestly, that was a great pick. Just on the fact that I don't think Charlotte's going to be very good this year, and for you to get their second primary scorer, somebody who can easily put up 20 a game, just based at right at the end of your draft. I mean, solid pick.
Especially when you got Hayward. Like you can't trust Hayward in Charlotte, to stay healthy. So he may put up some really big numbers. And knock on wood, please don't happen. Please don't happen. But God forbid LaMelo went down. And you're really talking about like a monster player.
Or they just drop LaMelo altogether to tank for Wembanyama, and then you're over here watching Terry Rozier getting 50 touches a game, just shooting the ball whenever he wants.
Take it.
I would not put it past Charlotte. Let me just say,
they need a center.
Yeah, they do. Right.
They'll keep starting Plumlee, right?
Yeah, they're starting Plumlee. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll rant about that another day. Look, I know we're going in order, right? But while we got David here, I want to go to one of his other best friends. We got Ronnie's team, of course, a team that I was just talking about that really scares me, right? And you see his team, just so much depth, man. Like top to bottom. DeJounte Murray, Cade Cunningham. You got flexibility. You got free agents coming off the books next year. He did a sneaky little pick that I wasn't even sure was legal with the Scottie Pippen pick just to get a little bit more of an edge. He has a really just deep team. Like, look, 1 through 10. I didn't number the roster spots, but you got John Collins, TJ Warren, who in Brooklyn might put some numbers up, Fred VanVleet, who he really overpaid for, and I was questioning that. But like it's still like it like I can't question the man because look, Jacob Poeltl, Nikolai Vucevic, Jonas Valanciunas. I can't even pronounce these names. Who's that? Jaden McDaniels and Jalen McDaniels for some reason. And then he's got Kate. Man, it's a tough team. Gary, what do you see? Are you scared as me? Like, am I overreacting?
I think maybe a little bit. I mean, I love the depth there. I love the next season. He's got $32 million left on the books to grab literally whoever he wants, somebody who can't afford whatever guy they're trying to get. There were a lot of like free agents over here, but I think the one thing that we look down and you see in his wild card spot, this man's got Paul George, Malcolm Brogdon, and Al Horford, 3 guys who, probably get overpaid in terms of their actual NBA salary, not like overpaid, like they're worth that money. But at the
Especially
same
like
time,
this.
they're when it comes to this team and being able to just drop whoever you want at the end, or drop those guys at the end of the season and plug and play, you're looking at a bunch of guys. And I mean, Cade Cunningham, Malcolm Brogdon, Paul George trio, and then combine that with just all the talent that he's got there. This is a team that could, in the next like 2-3 years, if he keeps this Cade Cunningham and Cade Cunningham becomes what he is supposed to be, this is dangerous. I will say the Scottie Pippen Jr. pick threw me off. I knew he was in the G League, and I knew he was like drafted by not drafted by the Lakers, but on their summer league roster. Completely threw me off when I saw it on the thing, and I was like, is this a Bobby Bonilla kind of thing where Scottie Pippen's still being paid $500,000 a season and I have no idea? And we could still somehow draft him, but no, it's his son, Scottie Pippen Jr.
Yeah.
Which is, I really like what he could do next year with all that cap space. And then in year 3, he's got $93 million. I'm over here with LeBron James. I'm stuck with that man for a long time. So, I'm happy I got LeBron, but I'm a little jealous of the cap space over here.
Yeah, definitely. Now, David, I want to get your reaction, but first, we got to hear from the man himself. Ronnie delivered. He left us a message. I believe he's watching. I don't know where he is. He's somewhere. He's Ronnie. He's doing what he's doing. So I'm going to play his video. He's going to tell you exactly what his strategy was and who he fears moving forward.
Ronnie 3K, we should start calling him.
3K, absolutely. Ronnie 3K. We're about to nickname him that.
Hey y'all, how's it going today? Thanks for having me on the show. So to talk about my team strategy, I think that right off the bat, the most important strategy that I wanted to have was depth. I didn't want to spend $40 million on a player that when I can spend $20 million on 2 players. And so I wanted to have as much depth as possible, especially in a league this size. I think it's going to be really important as the year drags on. You'll see a bunch of people that don't play on in back-to-backs and everything else like that. So if I could focus on those guys that were $15, $20 million and get as many of those guys as possible that I knew had the capabilities of being an all-star, that's really what I wanted to shoot for. So looking ahead at my team, that's why I targeted guys like DeJounte Murray, Cade Cunningham, Vucevic, JV in Memphis, and all these guys. I think that it was important to make sure that I was getting a lot of value for my team there. And then also I wanted to make sure that on my bench I had some key guys that could fill in. So wanted to go pretty thick with the bigs. I wanted to get a lot of centers in there because a lot of times their bodies break down over the course of the year. So that was a thought process on getting a pretty hefty center like Podol and paying a lot of money for having him just to sit on the bench. Looking ahead at other guys, the guys that scare me the most, I think is probably going to be Brad. He has a lot of talent on his team. He has a lot of young guys on his team. He had guys that I was targeting myself later on in the draft, Thomas Bryant being one of them. I think he's going to definitely be a pretty good pick, especially for such a small salary. And then, of course, you can't go wrong with Kevin Durant. So I think his team might be a little bit of a force to be reckoned with. But yeah, best of luck to everybody this year. Thanks for having me on. Have a great day.
So there you heard from the man himself. Like my stream was like freezing and stopping. I don't know about you guys, but
no, I heard all of it. No, we were all good here.
That's all that matters. I just want you guys to hear the words of Ronnie. So David, what'd you think? I know you and Ronnie have a storied history. So
yeah, me and Ronnie are go about as deep as me and you do, but he's 100% right with Brad. Brad's team is a bunch of youngins in next couple of years if all those guys become what they're supposed to. With Evan Mobley and he had one other really good young guy that I can't remember, but yeah, that team's going to be terrifying in the next couple of years.
And that was another guy that another guy that we go back. Well, especially you go back with Brad. He's in our. Oh, I have to shout out while you're here too. So there's proof with the doc. With Gary mentioning how the doc is, we also got to shout out Mr. Alexander of the Money Ball. He's the one that like kind of helped me like map it out, and his formula for baseball leagues that I've been in for a couple of years is really what I went off of. Like I literally like took his entire style and ran with it. So so just got to shout him out as well. But yeah, man, I gotta agree with you. Ronnie's Brad's team too. We'll get to him in a little while, but he has another solid team. So hey, David, man, I appreciate you coming on. I know you got to go walk some dogs, right, or something like that.
Yeah,
Right?
I gotta go to work. But well,
Hey,
thanks
make
for
that
having
money.
me on.
any last
Yes,
words,
always.
Gary?
Thanks,
But
man. Appreciate you
yeah,
having you on.
yeah, have a good one.
So that was pleasant. Right? We had
He's fantastic. I love him.
yeah, he's a natural. He's like, oh, I'm nervous. Just ask me questions. I'm not gonna talk. I'm like, you'll be fine. And I think we're a welcoming group over here, right? So I think we're
Oh yeah, come on, man. Big acceptance over here.
yeah. So look, am I sharing the right thing? Let me make sure. I'm gonna share back our screen here, and we're gonna move over to Logan's team, who's right next to Ronnie. So I'm gonna go here. Logan's team, honestly, if I had to speak, like this would probably be my second or third most feared team. It's like especially moving forward, you got some flexibility there with the 19 million. And one thing to note, as the NBA salary cap goes up, we will also increase by the percentage that the league goes by. So having 19 million with only 2 pending free agents, even though there are some club options to take into account, he's in a really good position with LaMelo Ball, PJ Washington, Jared Allen, Kyle Kuzma. You see my name, right? So Obi Toppin, he got a nick too. Like this guy is no joke. What do you think about Logan and his team?
I honestly, Logan, I think got a good amount of picks towards the end that I was pretty high on, or I mean towards the beginning. I'm sorry. You got Franz Wagner, who we don't really talk. If you've ever listened to our D Takes from 3 podcast, I don't really talk about Franz Wagner. We don't talk about the Magic all that much, but not only is he just a player that I'm excited for the potential of, somebody who in the future could be just a utility guy that does everything on the court there. He shoots, he passes, he drives, he sets picks. Somebody who, I mean, give it 3 years, give it 2 years, is just going to be a force to be reckoned with. One of those 16, 7, and 5 guys who are going to light up the league on all parts of the stat sheet, can do anything on any side of the ball, and is really just a solid guy. He's got LaMelo, so that passing is going to be there. Jared Allen, those rebounds and the blocks are going to come. And I really like the value that he got over with Kyle Kuzma. I'm a very high on Kyle Kuzma guy. I know you as well are. I know Devin is probably exploding in his seat right now listening to this. He thinks Kyle Kuzma's dog water. I don't agree. But yeah, I really like the makeup of this team. And I like the cap space that he has next season. And on one thing that we see here in his wild cards, man's got Russell Westbrook. And for all the clowning we're going to do with Westbrook, it has to be said, he puts up fantasy numbers. He was an 18, 8-8 guy last year, and it's going to keep up with that kind of style of, we're looking at fantasy basketball. We're not really looking for wins here, folks. Yeah. We're looking for stats.
Numbers.
We're looking for numbers.
And there is no better numbers putter at his best than Russell Westbrook. Yeah. He literally does everything. So yeah, Logan's a tough one. I didn't get any word from him, but he drafted really well, and I expect him to be right in the mix with everybody. So I guess moving forward, because it's already 7:30.
Oh, we got to blow through these, my man.
Yeah, we got to run through it. So I have a surprise guest. Like, I'm surprised that he made it. No, I'm not. But this is one guy that had one of the most interesting drafts, I think, because he really made it a point to keep his budget at a certain level, and he did. And he really did draft a good team, especially when you account for the wild cards. You got De'Aaron Fox, you got Mikal Bridges, Isaiah Stewart. I think is a underrated pick. We'll see how he's going to mix in there with Jalen Duran, Herbert Jones. He has a lot of potential upside here with Banchero, Ivy, Halliburton. For a guy that was really penny pinching, he really put together a good team. The only probably criticism I could give is that It does have a potential to fall flat. Like a few injuries away, it could fall flat, but there's a lot of potential. As high of a potential it has to fail, I think it has a higher potential to succeed. So that's my thoughts. What do you think about that, Gary?
Oh, I would 100% agree. You will find out later that the potential alone, I know I see Zach watching here. Whenever we're ready to add him to the stream, I'm happy to do so. But I am scared of his team most this season, next year, mainly because I don't think you'll find anybody in the world, maybe Nikias Duncan on Twitter, who's as high on Herb Jones as I am, who's as high on Halliburton or Banchero as I am. These are just guys who give it like 2 years. They're going to absolutely light this league up. Herb Jones already showed his worth as a defender last year. But yeah, Banchero is just going to put up monster points. I mean, this is an easy. Think about how many guys in this league this year are going to average 30 points. You know, you got your Lucas, your Jokic's, your Giannis's. Give it 3 years. We're going to say Banchero is going to be up there with those. And then looking towards the end of his draft, I mean, he's literally got like the NBA Twitter nerds' favorite player in Mikal Bridges. He's got Chime Okeke, who's going to put up some, you know, if he gets the opportunity to start or to play some, he's going to do some good numbers. He's got De'Aaron Fox down there, which is an absolute steal that late in the draft. So shout out to you, Zach, for getting a guy who put up 27 points a game when he plays with Domantas Sabonis. So, yeah.
Kind of overrated, though, right? Anyway.
Shut up. No, the Sabonis is overrated for an actual basketball team. But when it comes to fantasy, oh, my God, that guy is good. So, yeah, I'm excited about Zach's team here this year. I am most scared of his. So when we get to my section, you don't even have to ask me. That is who I am terrified of, not only because he is drafted really well, but because Mans knows what he's doing.
Wow. Okay, yeah, moving forward, I definitely agree because we talk about the flexibility. He has some cap space and only 3 free agent spots that I see. But I want to know if the man has any exceptions to what we just said. So I'm gonna bring him aboard. Welcome in Zach the Attack 180. Welcome to the show, man. Any exceptions with what we said, or do you agree? Did it line up with your strategy?
Yeah. So I took it for I think my pick of the draft was Halliburton at the top. Because if Pablo and Ivy come out the gate hot, and you look at the rest of it. If Halliburton, a lot of people are saying he's a top 10. Like if you do redraft or whatever, he has the potential to be a sneaky top 10 player this season. I mean, massive benefit getting out of Sacramento for him.
Say less. I mean, honestly,
if he continues to grow, I got a lot of young talent. I got Fox, who I was targeting the entire time because his numbers, like that salary, like 32, 34, that for those numbers, you can't go wrong, especially when you got those kind of guys, you know, making 40 plus million. So, I mean, I really think, my team, there's so many reasons to be excited about this. So much upside.
I got
absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, I'm surprised, like being like the most feared, but I will say moving forward, I would absolutely align with that.
Yeah.
Especially next
I'm paying Fox right now, but that's pretty much, and Bridges is making a nice mid-level kind of deal, but you know,
by the way,
I can either pay Halliburton or I can wait on Ivy and Banchero and then end up paying one of them.
Yeah.
Or both of them. So I think I still have. I think I'm set up really well.
Yeah. By the way, we didn't even mention Miles Turner, who's another one that's.
I mean, he's simply. I'm going to say this right now. I probably have zero intention of hanging on to him.
Yeah, moving forward.
I'm just he's there to help me compete this year.
You and the Pacers both.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
He can't keep a job anywhere. Damn it, that's tough. So before we move on, Zach, is there a team that you're looking at that you could potentially be facing in the NBA Finals that you're fearful?
I mean, looking around, man. I mean, I don't think anybody's in bad shape.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna say I don't think I could compete. I was like, damn.
I was like, man,
yeah,
the
I
honor
I
of
don't
this
mean to
man.
sound selfish, but I really just focus on my team. I can't concern myself with
That's a
what
great
everybody else-
strategy. Yeah.
with I can't concern myself with what everybody else is doing too much, you know.
Especially in fantasy basketball, that's the way to do it. Just so that you're not having to, once you start playing that game of like, well, he's got him, so I have to get this guy. Then your strategy's out the window.
I'm competing with myself.
There you go.
So I think Zach, you're gonna stay on with us, right? Is that the plan? You want to?
I can stay on. I can.
Cool. So
Absolutely.
let's do that. So we're gonna try to speed up a little bit because time is moving quick. But the ending, we might skip something. So we'll see. All right. So Jonathan, one thing I like about Jonathan, I was like, hey, do you want to do the show? Nope. Do you want to comment? Nope. He's just about the league. He's here to win, and he's not playing no games. And I got nothing but respect for that. Again, a sneaky good team. I think Christian Wood, by the way, we were just talking about him on Deep Takes from 3. I'm really interested to see what he's going to do. He made a quick trade early on. Actually, I believe the first trade that we had, at least including players, he traded Pascal Siakam. I'm sorry, I believe he received back Keegan Murray. He received back, which I think, that was one of those sneaky moves. He knows what he's doing. He's making calculated moves.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I will say I don't know if it's a championship team, but it's going to be right in the mix. Gary, what do you think about that? Looking at his team.
Well, I mean, honestly, I think the one thing that we're looking at here that I really like is that pickup of Keegan Murray. I mean, Keegan Murray, summer league MVP. The Sacramento Kings, we joke on them a little bit, but this is the year that if they're going to put up some stats, if Sabonis and Fox and I guess now the third fiddle there, Keegan Murray, if he actually breaks out and does a little bit more than you would think, that's a guy who's going to put up a good bit of like all around the board numbers. I'm not saying he's going to average like 20 a game. Obviously, he's a rookie. That rarely ever happens. But, that's somebody in a couple of years at $8 million who I'm really high on, drafted 4th overall. Man's got Jason Tatum. I mean, there's enough said about Jason Tatum, possible MVP candidate. Darius Garland, if you've ever played 2K, you all know that Darius Garland is absolutely insane in those simulations. Not that matters here, but it's just crazy to be, he is a guy who can put up like 25 and 10 easy. I like some of his depth here. I like the idea that he gets DeAndre Hunter here at the end of the draft, $9 million. Yes, he is off the team next year. I'm not quite sure what the blue on the docket means. I mean, look here, it's a qualifying offer, so I bet you they picked that up there just to keep him on the team for another year. Maybe let him sees how much he can get in free agency. But like for real, this team, Precious Achiuwa for that cheap. I mean, this is a guy who's going to get some actual serious rotation minutes in Toronto. Can shoot the ball from all over the court. So this is the team I'm excited about, especially that Jason Tatum, OG Anunoby, Darius Garland combination is going to put up some serious stats.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's definitely. I'm retweeting everything you just said. Zach, any quick thoughts about Jonathan? I know we're moving. We're really tight here.
I mean, I think his team pretty much comes down to Darius Garland. That's pretty much the success of his team. That's what it comes down to, in my opinion.
Fair.
He's got a lot of pieces there.
I'm not on board with the fit with Mitchell right now. I need to see it.
With Mitchell. Okay. Yeah, I see that. Okay, so now we're gonna try to move forward. Now we got Eric and Kenny. This is one of the first co-owners that we're looking at so far. He got Luka. He had the first overall pick. And now when we talk about depth, I think this might take it because he has every single player in here I think is going to get some type of minutes, and he's going to be able to start somebody every day and can afford some injuries, which a lot of us, I'm be honest, I'm one of those that can't afford too many injuries. Mm-hmm. And he has Ben Simmons, who I think is going to be massive. We'll see. Kristaps Porzingis and Lonzo Ball obviously is injured, but he took a quick flyer, late flyer pick. Now, I don't want to say too much because Kenny himself has got something to say about his team. So I'm going to go ahead and just let him take it away. Kenny? I'm sorry, Eric. take it away.
Oh, well, it's your friendly neighborhood podcast host, at Squid Sports Head on Twitter, at Not a Network Pods on Twitter, twitch.tv/AWP Podcasts. Check out the variety of shows on Not a Network But, as GM of the Heatles, return to the Heatles, had a very solid strategy, wanted to go big, getting Luka first overall as you would in a normal draft, but then again, it's like, alright, using the best contracts, get a couple of steals here and there, fill out not just a good starting five, but a very solid bench. As far as who scares me the most, I definitely say going 5v5 to start, it's got to be Josh's team. He picked up a couple of very big name guys, James Harden in particular. He got Joker as well, so look forward to seeing how far he goes. Very almost polar opposite strategy of mine, but thankfully with those wild cards, wanted to try to add a little extra star depth, and I'm fully confident in Coach Kenny Yake to go ahead and get the job done.
I think that was a pretty solid plan, and he definitely executed with what he was looking to do. And as you heard, Kenny will be the one managing the lineups moving forward. Zach, any quick thoughts about his team?
Oh man, I mean, it's very interesting. I mean, he had a similar. I mean, he went big in the beginning, but he's filled with all these lower end salaries, all these middle kind of. Look at all of his teams making between 4 and 8 million, like 80% of them. So, I mean, I'm just intrigued overall to see how this strategy works out for him.
Honestly, yeah, like he could easily find himself in a championship mix, especially with the depth. Like if we're struggling with injuries, depending who he's facing. And then it's not like he doesn't have some top heavy talent. Like I said, Luka Doncic, you got Ricky Rubio, who's going to be coming off the bench in Cleveland. Like, I know that sounds crazy, like calling Ricky.
Yeah, watch out for John Wall this season.
John Wall.
Watch out for John Wall.
Gary, any quick thoughts? What do you think about this team we got over there?
He has Luka Doncic. That's it. I mean, like everything else is great. Like I'm all for it, but like when you have Luka Doncic, that's all you really need. And I mean, like the Mavericks think so too. So I mean, I'm not far off on just the idea of like you got Luka, you're in contention in a fantasy league.
Yeah, absolutely. Enough said. There's really not much to say there. And he even got Wiseman. So moving forward, we got Josh, somebody that I believe that's two people that named him as a team that they're really like threatened by. I'll be honest. I mean, James Harden, of course, you can't sneeze at, and you got Joker, So for me, I think that's really a good team as well. And there is some depth there. You got Josh Hart at the bottom. I think that's a sneaky pick in Portland. And you got, you have some picks there. I will say the reason why it's not my most feared team, I feel like a few injuries could easily tear down this team, in my opinion. But if he stays healthy, watch out. It's going to be really, really tough.
100%.
Yeah.
Oh no, Jokic. I mean, he's got Jokic. He's got Jokic, and he got James Harden and Desmond Bane. Those are three dudes and DeMar DeRozan. I mean, look at this team, guys. I'm not saying that he did, the Josh Hart pick at the end of the draft there. That's really good. I'm not like too high on the back half. I'm not quite sure what the Kostas Antetokounmpo pick was, just in terms of playing time. But when you make picks like James Harden, Desmond Bane, DeMar DeRozan, Nikola Jokic, Ayo Dosunmu, that's all you need. And there's only 7 guys that we get to play each day. And those are dudes that are going to put out their stat sheets. And I mean, coming off the bench here, Clint Capella, not going to put up any crazy like offensive numbers, but those rebounds, those matter. When it comes to some depth there on the back, I'm a little worried, but I can't say anything about any of those picks up at the top half that I was at. I mean, honestly, the reason everyone is scared of him is because of how much firepower he has at the start.
Yeah, easily. If he stays healthy, watch out.
Oh,
Zach,
yeah.
can you retweet what we were saying, or is there something else you're seeing? With this?
I mean, I was like, his team's all right, but then I saw, I missed that AO the Sumu pick, and watch out for it because he has a huge opportunity ahead of him with Lonzo being out for a while.
Oh, yeah.
He could really take off. He takes off. I mean, this team, his team's scary. That's
I definitely hear that. So I'm thinking, let's see, we got through, let's see, that's 4, 5, and we got Ronnie, that's 6, 7, and then we got through my team 8. But I think we could squeeze in one more.
For sure.
Team. You know, and there's no better team to close with, in my opinion. I'm gonna go ahead and just scroll to the team. Let's see, I believe he's this way. We scroll down a little bit. And there we go. The man Gary himself. We got to end here. I think it's a deep team. The LeBron James pick was a good pick. It's LeBron James. You can't be mad at it. Of course, it does eat quite a bit of the cap, but the cap is going to go up, and you only have a handful of free agents. So I think moving forward, you look good. And you got Derrick Rose. You know, that's my guy. You got Kawhi Leonard, Spencer Dinwiddie, Kevin Love. Malik Beasley, I think, is another good pick. So Andre Drummond, who's going to put up numbers. I believe he's slotted to at least he's in Chicago, so he's going to come off the bench. Austin Reeves, you never know if he gets some extended playing time. He looks pretty good in the preseason right now. I will say maybe not the best depth, but again, one of those teams that if it stays healthy, you got that guy right there, the third name right there. But he's also right next to your name. Who could?
Oh yes. Yeah. Today I will be Zion Williamson's personal chef this entire season. I am hoping on him to not only stay healthy but dominate. He did put up crazy numbers when he was healthy. Of course, when he was healthy should be the name of my team because I do have LeBron James and Kawhi Leonard there as well. And I'll be honest, guys. Me and my friend Nick here, my co-owner, we had a pretty solid strategy going in this draft, at least in the top half. I want to get good value players with the money that we have, but with players that, I'm going to be a little bit negative next season, but just like the Golden State Warriors, I'm trying to win this year, and I'm also trying to win in the future. That's why I picked Tyrese Maxey with my second pick. That's why I picked Zion Williamson with my first pick. Tyrese Maxey might be the third option there in Philadelphia, but like at the same time, this is a guy who, when he's actually on, is an incredible fast break player, scary to watch. And with James Harden kind of giving up a little bit of the ball handling responsibility to him throughout the regular season just for health reasons and to keep himself going for the playoffs, I'm excited for Maxey. I'm excited for what he does in the future. Towards the end of my bench, I did joke pick Udonis Haslem. I am a massive Heat fan, so I have to ride with my guy, even though he will not play. I'm just kind of using, just like the Miami Heat, our philosophy, use that. He's our coach. He's our bench coach there. And then towards the end, I also took some guys that I'm a little bit higher on that I think I got a steal there with Matisse Thybulle. I don't know how he fell all the way down to that end of the draft. Derrick Rose was, me and Nick had a conversation a couple of days beforehand. We were like, we need to make sure that we have a couple of $1 million left to make a good pick towards the end of the draft, just so that we can have a quality guy, get you some buckets on an off night, get you some good points, get you some, veteran leadership over there. And he's with New York still, right, Isaiah?
Yes, he is.
Yeah. So I'm excited for him to play some of that veteran leadership role with, with Tibbs. He always loves playing Derrick Rose. So I'm excited to see that. And I'd say the one pick I'm not particularly happy with my team here was Bol. I like the idea of him as a player. I know that a lot of stuff coming out of Orlando Magic camp is high on him. Will he play all that much? Not on the defensive end, but maybe he puts some buckets on offense. But I'm just kind of like, I'm having a good time. I haven't really done a fantasy draft in a long, long time. And I had a good time. I will say I'm way prouder of my Andre Drummond pick than I should be He put up 10 points, 10 rebounds as a backup center last year. And if there's one thing that the Chicago Bulls didn't do last year was rebound. So I'm expected to see a good season from him. And as far as teams I'm scared of, I mentioned him earlier. So yeah, I'm excited about this season. I'm excited to see what you guys think about my team.
I mean, yeah, I kind of gave my thoughts. What do you think, Zach?
If LeBron and Kawhi stay healthy and play enough games, we're talking if they're playing more than 60, because I think that at this point you're expecting like 50, 55 out of both of them.
And that's why I got them both, honestly.
If both of them can stay healthy, there's no reason this team. I mean, you're definitely going to be a top seed going into the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, with the Draymond Green situation, Kuminga might get more playing time sooner than we think. And then one thing too, we didn't really mention, but Colin Sexton at this point, especially with the contract, when you got guys that are making 30 and 40 million in Utah, he could easily find himself. He's in Utah, right?
Yeah, no, he was in that Utah trade. Yep.
At a moment, okay, but yeah, in Utah, he could easily find himself being like the first option, I believe. Going in by default, he has to be. So yeah, I think you did a pretty good job. I mean, yeah, you're in the negative, but like I said, the cap is going to go up eventually next season, and I'm more than likely you'll be in the positive.
And I won't have Udonis Haslem next year.
And you won't have Haslem, but you need team morale. And you got Kevin Love there too, so
yes. And with a lot of the times with my free agent picks, I went with Kawhi because he was the best player available. Of course, my LeBron James, Kawhi, he's basically my insurance on both ends, just in case one of them gets hurt. They're old. It's Kawhi Leonard. You never know what's going to happen. I'm willing to take the bullet on that if Kawhi goes out for the season. Spencer Dinwiddie, my pick there was just because of Luka and the ball handling responsibility that Spencer might have to deal with at the end of the year. Kevin Love, of course, 6th Man of the Year candidate last year, and then Malik Beasley always putting up numbers whenever you need him. So. Yeah, I think my strategy was pretty solid. Yes, I understand. I am a little in the red next year, but whatever. I'm down for it.
You're good. It makes it all the better. Look, so as many people that are watching us, and I know we got thousands of viewers worldwide, we cannot compete with the NFL, and I know we got a football game starting in a few minutes. So I think maybe we call it here. I think Gary was a good team to end with. And tune in. We're gonna figure out like when another day would be good, to finish up looking at everybody else's teams. And by then, I'm also gonna have my ranking, my just personal opinion of who I think is gonna be the strongest 1 through 16. You see Devin on the left side. I'm hoping he can make it to our next show. It will be fitting to have him as the third one. But again, I want to thank everybody that participated. Zach, thank you very much for coming on, and hopefully we'll have you on future shows as well. Brian was supposed to be here. He, who knows what happened there? Chris is a bit of a character over there, so it's kind of we'll see what happens. But that's all for next show. Any parting words, my friend, Gary?
I'm just excited to be a part of this, man. I'm glad that you invited me. I'm glad that this is happening. I'm glad I get to bring my sports nerd knowledge and excitement to a forum where I get to look at spreadsheets all day and feel like, yes, you did do something well and good with your life, that you get to basically talk sports on a podcast as much as you want. So thank you for having me. And Zach, thank you for coming on. I appreciate it. And please keep giving Isaiah more crap in our comments about being a Knicks fan. I really like that. I know you're probably loaded with those, but yes, please.
I was just going to say, I was surprised there was no digs at the Knicks, but you had to ruin it, didn't you? But it's okay. Oh, yeah, no. I got RJ Barrett. I mention his name every time. Zach, any parting words, my friend? And oh man, what do you got to say?
I mean, I'm only in this league because I found out you were a Knicks fan. Like, I have to be in this. I'm just all this roster and lineup is just a formality. I'm just here to trash the Knicks.
And that's literally the name of Chris. I'm just here for Knicks slander, bro. It's crazy. But hey, man, like I said, thank you, everybody. I know, again, like I said, this isn't everybody's cup of tea getting on camera and talking. Ronnie's tuning in. So shout out, Ronnie. You did a great job. David did a great job. He was really shy. Like he was nervous. I was like, hey, you're good, man. Zach did a good job. Gary, shit, man. I don't know. What can I say? Like, Gary does this. So, hey, I guess that's it. I appreciate you guys just keep tuned, and we'll figure out when episode 2 will be.
All right. See you guys.
That is it.